When you're a man, one of the first questions people ask is what you do for a living. Most people don't know how to react when the answer to that question is cage fighting. I'm a cage fighter. I'm a kickboxer. I'm a grappler. I'm a mixed martial artist. I've competed professionally in the sports of MMA, Muay Thai, K1, American kickboxing, and Sanda. I've trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, wrestling, and Taekwondo. I fought in the United States, Singapore, Mongolia, and all over China. I'm also a dancer. My specialty is modern, contemporary dance. But I'm also trained in classical ballet, ballroom, and several other styles. I currently perform and choreograph with the Shanghai Contemporary Dance Collective. While the performances of these two disciplines are quite different, the objectives are basically the same to me. Honest expression of self, and harnessing human potential through the medium of movement. I grew up in a small farming town of about 1,000 people in southwest Idaho with my mother and 6 siblings. My mother emigrated to the US from England in the 1970s. I later spent 2 years as a missionary in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I studied modern dance and Spanish at Brigham Young University. After graduating, I performed with several ballet companies and struggled to make ends meet. I had several years of martial arts training, so I decided to start fighting professionally to make an extra paycheck. I married my wife Vanessa in San Diego, California in 2005. 4 years later, we moved to China. Why China? Why not? Now, I coach the sport of MMA at the Jieshang Fight Club in Shanghai. People tend to believe that what I do is about personal empowerment, but I don't see it that way. I love combat sports for the same reason that I love dancing, for the same reason that I love life, because of its ephemeral nature. There's no illusion of stability, because it's a constant reminder of my own mortality, weakness, and impermanence, that at any moment, all of this can and will be taken away. I spent the better part of a decade prize fighting, until August 27th, 2011, when it all came to a screeching halt. One single punch ended my whole career with a compound skull fracture. The doctors told me I'd never fight again. After months of recovery and rehabilitation, I started coaching full-time again. Fighting has allowed me to travel the world. It's given me all kinds of opportunities in life, professionally and personally. It helped pay for the hospital bills when my daughter Eve was born. When I'm training my body, I'm tempering my mind and forging my spirit. And when the spirit is strong, the body is stronger. The mind is sharper than it would be otherwise. Are you any good? People often ask me. I fought a few guys who were pretty good. One who went on to the UFC and one who became the national champion of China. But me, I've won fights. And I've lost fights. I've won some shiny gold medals, and I've had tournaments where I walked away with nothing. There's always someone better than you at something. But my goal isn't to be better than everyone else. It's to be better than yesterday. That's how you find the strongest version of yourself. Some see it as a contradiction that a follower of Jesus Christ could get in a cage and hit someone. This is a sport, not an act of hatred. It's a sport full of violent action. But at the end of the day, every man standing across the cage, the ring, or the mat from me is my brother. And there is no one I've fought in the past who I wouldn't call a friend today. But when people find out I'm a Mormon, they're always surprised. I guess they assume that Mormons are supposed to be gentle, harmless, holy men who do nothing but read scriptures and say prayers all day. So, I tell them about Joseph Smith. The first prophet and president of the church got the same kind of criticism from both inside and outside of the church for his love of wrestling. He did no-holds-barred catch wrestling, folk-style wrestling, side-hold wrestling, and he got rough and competitive. If there was ever a chance to throw down, Joseph Smith took it. He was as human as it gets. For some reason, that tends to surprise people more than telling them that Joseph talked to God face to face and learned firsthand that we, the human race, are literally the offspring of God. and that because we're God's children, we have infinite potential. I love training other people because I can see that potential at work. Every day I see individuals overcome obstacles. I see them go from nothing to something. I see a spark of desire in their eyes slowly turn into a blazing fire of possibilities. It never ceases to amaze me how many people who come to my classes and stick with it change their lives without me ever telling them to. They get stronger, leaner, faster, more technical, sure, but I see my students dropping their bad habits and replacing them with positive ones. I don't have to tell people, hey, you need to quit smoking and drinking if you want to perform like an athlete, because their own bodies tell them. The human body is a brilliantly engineered machine that way. One of God's first commandments to mankind was this: in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. Some people see that as a curse. I see it as a blessing. The fact that I've been blessed with the ability to move, to grow stronger, and to help others on that same path, that brings me a sense of joy. Out of all the work I've done, earning my bread through combat sports is by far the sweatiest and the most fulfilling. I'm a mixed martial artist. I'm a fighter. I'm a coach. I'm a dancer. I'm a choreographer. I'm a father. I'm a Mormon.